On this Avenger 2008, the power window, the driver passenger side, the driver front window do not work. As you can see, the motor trying constantly to put it down and nothing doesn't happen. The rest of the windows works good. That's why we went to the dealer. We got the replacement. It's original from Mapar, and this tutorial will be on how to replace the whole mechanism which is responsible for the power window on a driver front side. Nothing doesn't happen when we press the button. It's because this piece completely broke and there is no way how you can glue him. The only way, you need to replace the whole item. Let's proceed. The trim have to be removed. First of all, you have to remove this screw, then this screw which is right here, then to remove this trim, and then you have to pop off this cover by inserting the flat screwdriver underneath and simply popping it off. Remove electrical connectors. The first electrical connector is removed, and the second one you will need to tap with a flat screwdriver on those ends. Just like this. Then using the flat screwdriver, start unpopping the trim, just like this. And remove the trim. When trim is removed, disconnect this one. It's a door unlocking mechanism, just like that. And completely remove the trim, put it away. Alright, some of those screws was already removed because the owner, they couldn't put the window completely up, but you will need to use this 10mm socket with extension and ratchet and remove all those 10mm. Pretty much it's a bunch of them in different places, and you will need to remove the trim out from your way. When those bolts are removed, you will need to disconnect the wire harness. You will need to take the tweezers and cut it. There is a special tool which you can use to pop them off. Those are very handy in this situation. Just like this. Then remove from here, and you will be able to remove this cover. One more was right here. And also you need to disconnect this electrical connector from the power motor. Disengage the power motor from here. You need to use the small ratchet with T30 bit on it. When those three bolts was removed, it wasn't that easy to disengage the power motor because all of those was stuck on it. We removed it, and right now we can proceed for disassembly. There is no way how you can completely remove this trim. You need to use T20 bit, and the speaker have to be disconnected because all this wire harness connected together. So counterclockwise disconnect those 4 bolts and remove the speaker together with the wire harness. And we disconnected the speaker and the motor, we put them aside, and right now we're having like some kind of trouble completely removing it, but I'm pretty much sure that we can squeeze it through without being completely removing it, because one of those rods can easily bend, and if it will be bended just a little bit, you will be unable to open and close the door. This is not gonna work because all of those they connected together. That's why we will just keep it a little bit aside, and right now we will proceed for the installation of the power window assembly. The glass have to be removed because those locks have to be reinstalled. Since the old part which was ruined have two of these mounts, this mount and this mount, you need to extract those two old pieces from the glass. You need to position the flat screwdriver right here, and you need to unbend it. Once it's unbended, you can easily slide it down, just like that. The first one is already removed, and now let's remove the second one. Just take your time on this step, because you don't want to crack the windshield, the glass, and easily, little by little, squeeze it in, just like that. As simple as this. When it's released, in my opinion, the next step, you have to ask somebody to keep the glass on top, or you have to block it with pieces of wood if you don't have nobody to help you. Once those two old pieces are removed, it's time to install the new part and engage the glass into these locks the same way how it was originally installed, just like that. Let's do it, but it seems for me that they have to be lifted completely up, or maybe not. We will just put the glass on top right here. Looks like firstly need to be mounted partially. The first one is correctly installed. Of course you will need a help of a helper. You cannot do all this labor just by yourself. During the installation of the new mechanism, the new unit, we recommend to block it with pieces of wood, even if you have somebody who can help you. And when you're trying to squeeze it in, somebody just in case need still to hold the window, and using the flat screwdriver he have to press down and you will be pushing up. The first lock is installed. Let's install the second one. Alright, we using not only one person who helping, three of us is installing it. The first lock is installed and the second lock is installed. And right now we have to mount this assembly and we will be good to go. Okay, one helper holding the glass, another installing the motor. It's like a teamwork. Everything have to be done. And right now we will reinstall the screws. So basically the motor will hold it on place. You need to use T30 bit, just like this, clockwise. Make sure that everything is aligned correctly. The first one is installed. Reinstall two remaining, here and here. This 10mm bolt is very important. It's actually holding the whole power assembly on place. And right now we have to match this one. Currently is not matching. Just take your time, match it, align it, and when you see the thread, position the bolt to mount it correctly inside. Just like this. Yes. Done. Using the 10mm socket, tighten those bolts just like this, both of them. Do not over tighten, you don't want to crack the plastic. Install the power connector on a motor. Put this latch, protective latch. Install all wire harness. It's harder to remove this wire harness, it's a lot easier to put it back. As you remember, we use these special tools to remove it, but to put it back it's very simple. You just press on it and it's like a bow engaging back into the lock. Before we will put the stream back, we want to check the operation condition of just newly installed assembly, and we will put the window down. Let's plug electrical connectors and check the operation. So. Alright, we put the key to the second position and let's make a test. As you can see, everything is working, pretty stable, and let's roll it up. Let's proceed and assemble the trim back and everything back on place. Install the remaining screws. It's a 10mm socket right here, it's a bunch of them right there, all of them. Those star bolts, they have to reach They have to be located right here. That's why we will reapply. We will remove those bolts. Those bolts should be at the endings. And those the star bead bolts, they have to be right here, and the second have to be right there. The hardest part is to match these locks. We will need to ask somebody to hold it, because there is a special entry, and somebody needs to tighten. So basically during this labor you always need a help at least of one person, and for better results 2 people have to help you. And the last step, when you make sure that all bolts are in place, reinstall the trim back. Firstly put this lock,